You can be either Platonic or anti-Platonic. You can never be non-Platonic. In simple words, Plato's ideas are so important that you either agree with him or disagree with him, but you cannot ignore him. That's the importance of Plato. If you believe in ideal truths, that means you are Platonic. And if you believe in practical reality, you are anti-Platonic. But either way, your thinking is shaped by Plato's original question. Be you are Platonic or anti-Platonic. Your thought process was influenced by Plato. Your thought process was influenced by Plato's original question. Okay? Hello and welcome to the StateCraft Simplified with Dr. Ajay. We'll discuss about Plato's theory of justice. But before that, we'll briefly discuss the introduction to Plato as a political philosopher, his life sketch and influence, and the historical background. How he was influenced, the timeline which shaped Plato's ideas, Plato's thought process. So, without any further delay, let's proceed. The entire Western political philosophy is the footnote to Plato and Aristotle. Plato and Aristotle. The importance both Plato and Aristotle have. The disciple of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle. The disciple of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle is one of the greatest political philosophers ever produced by ancient Greece. That means Socrates, the teacher of Plato, Plato, the teacher to Aristotle. Just remember the chronology. First Socrates, then Plato, then Aristotle. Okay? A famous ancient Greek philosopher and student of Socrates. He is best known for his writings, particularly on justice, politics, knowledge, and ideal society. He was one of the first who basically talks about justice. What is just? What is justice? What is ideal state? What is ideal society? Plato, he founded the academy in Athens. The academy in Athens. That is one of the first institution, or you can say first institution for higher learning, or you can say that first university in the Western world, in West. And his most famous book, The Republic, which explore the idea of a just society ruled by the philosopher king. By the philosopher king. Just society. That means where justice prevails. Justice prevails. And just society where the reason dominates over courage and appetite. That means the philosopher king should rule over the soldier class and farmer class. Life sketch of Plato. He was a classical Greek philosopher who was born in an aristocratic family in Athens. aristocratic family in Athens. Athens, and it was in Greece. Okay, one of the city-states was Athens. He was influenced by the political turmoil of his time. What type of political turmoil? He has experienced the political turmoil in Athens, particularly in Athens. What was that? The fall of Athenian democracy. During his time, he seen that the fall of democratic notion, democratic values, and Athens, and the execution of his mentor. Who was his mentor? Socrates. He believed that he accused democracy as the cause behind the execution of his mentor Socrates, when he was forced to drink hemlock, one poison, because he was accused of spoiling the youths. Spoiling the youths. Okay. Who was accused of that crime? Socrates. Who was Socrates? Socrates was Plato's teacher, mentor. The death of the wisest person, Socrates, filled Plato's heart with scorn for democracy and mobocracy. He started hating both this democracy and mobocracy. And he witnessed the troubled phase. Apart from this, that his mentor, his teacher, Socrates was executed. Athenian democracy collapsed. Apart from that, the death of Athenian general Pericles also forced Plato to hate democracy. Okay? And after the death of his mentor in 399 BC, Socrates was died. Socrates died. Then Plato moved or traveled in Egypt, Greece, and Italy, and finally returned to Athens in 386 BC. And in 386 BC, he found the academy. The first university, or you can say that the first institution for higher learning in the Western world, in the ancient world. Historical background, it was during the time of turmoil, the great political turmoil that he witnessed, and apart from that, the war, the Peloponnesian War. This usually took place between Athens and Sparta, and usually Sparta used to become victorious. Victory to Sparta. And this war, this Peloponnesian War, further weakened the city-state. Which city-state? Athens, and its democracy, which ultimately leads to power struggle and deep division in the society. Power struggle and division in the society. These events deeply affected Plato's his views on politics and justice, and leading him to question the nature of a good society and the role of philosophy in public life. Some of the important work, some of the important contributions of Plato, the most famous, the Republic, concerning justice. Okay, the statesman in in 360 BC, and the laws 341 BC. Okay, these are some of the important works. And the Republic is the greatest work of Plato, which represents the major ideas and philosophy. It was said that this Republic, or the contribution, or the book Republic, was one of the first book or best book ever written in the field of education. Plato was very much influenced by Socrates, his mentor, his teacher, and his thought process, his ideas. Plato's early work often features Socratic dialogues. His conversation where Socrates questions others to expose the contradiction in their thinking. He started questioning others about life, about society, about politics, and through these dialogues, Plato explored ethics, virtue, and truth. While Socrates left no writings, that is only dialogues, okay? Only dialogues. Dialogues. There is no written evidence. Nothing was scripted. And Plato, he preserved his legacy. He preserved Socrates' legacy and used this method, used Socratic method as a foundation for his own philosophical system. Later on, he moved beyond Socrates and developed his own ideas of thought about the world of forms and ideal states. Ideal state and the role of reason in human life. Ideal state, Plato's concept of ideal state. Philosopher king, they are men of reason. The reason must dominate courage and appetite. They are the soldier class, they are the appetite, the producer class. Plato, he attached great importance to the concept of justice, which is evident from the fact that he subtitled his book The Republic as concerning justice, that he focused more on justice. He focused highly on justice. What is justice then? Before coming to Plato's ideas of justice, let's put these simple questions. Let's answer the simple questions. What is justice? What is justice? Is it simply following the law? Following the laws? Or it's giving each person or every person what they deserve, what they deserve, or it's something deeper, maybe something within the very soul of the society and the individual soul of the society and the individual. These questions, over 2000 years ago, these questions are asked by Plato. And instead of offering a quick answer, instead of saying what is justice, he took us on a journey through his masterpiece, The Republic, into the very heart of what justice means. What if justice is not about punishment, but about a purpose? What if a just society is not built on fear of law, but on inner harmony? Inner harmony. He believed that justice is very important to sustain a society. If you want to see a society to sustain, there must be justice. Justice must be prevail there. And he believed justice is the primary virtue. Then comes liberty. Then comes freedom. Then comes equality. But justice is the primary virtue. The first one. The first virtue. Although it is a very complex concept that generally refers to fairness and impartiality of a moral and legal system. In general, what is justice? It is said that it's a complex concept, but it refers to fairness and impartiality. Fairness and impartiality. It's about ensuring that people are treated equally, people are treated equitably, and those who have done something wrong, they are held responsible. They are held accountable, while also upholding the rights and dignity of all individuals. All individuals. No one should be left alone. Justice, it is very inclusive, not exclusive. Okay. The primary virtue of society. Justice is one of the important concept and the primary virtue. And no society will survive in the absence of justice. And it will perish, if not today, but tomorrow for sure. No system can sustain if people think that the system is not just. They will start revolting against the system. That ultimately leads to the decline of the system. That system must be replaced by some other form of government or some other system. If there is inequality in the society, that ultimately leads to dissatisfaction. Before giving his own concept of justice, Plato started asking, what is justice? And in that process, before giving his own idea of justice, he searched for a perfect idea of justice because he wanted to make Athens an ideal state. And in that process, he came across three schools: traditional school, radical school, pragmatic school. And then Plato gave his own concept of justice. First, traditional theory or traditional school that was propagated by Cephalus and Polemarchus. Cephalus' view of justice, he believed that justice is performing one's duty. Plato said, yes, justice is performing one's duty. Duty is God, right? So, that is right. Speaking the truth. Plato also agreed with that point. Speaking the truth. Justice is always about truth. And paying one's due. Plato rejected this view. He rejected it. And he further argued, if you borrowed a weapon from a friend, you borrowed a weapon from your friend, and later your friend, he or she went mad, he gone mad, would justice require you to return the weapon? Returning the weapon would be more dangerous and clearly unjust. This is not justice. Okay? So Plato rejected this view, paying one's due. Further, Polemarchus, the son of Cephalus, he further clarified what do you mean by paying one's due. He explained, paying one's due means helping your friends and harming your enemies. Helping your friends and harming your enemies. This one also rejected by Plato. Outrightly rejected. He argued that justice is all about treating equally. Be he your friend or enemy. You cannot differentiate. You cannot differentiate. You cannot treat both of them differently. So he argued that harming people makes them worse. Who argued that? Plato argued that. And so justice cannot involve harming anybody, harming anyone. This is traditional theory. Then comes radical theory, or you can say radical school of thought. This was propagated by the sophists. Sophist, associated with the sophist tradition, propounded by Thrasymachus. Who are the sophists? The paid teachers. Those who took money, those who took money, the sophists, the paid teachers. Those who believe that matter is more important than knowledge, than reason, than wisdom. And the sophists, they believed in individuality. Individual is more important, and completely ignored and they neglected state or society. They believed that, they argued that justice are the interest of the strong. Those who are in power, they make laws. And justice is all about the interest of the strong. If you have power, you made the justice which was convenient to you. And it believed in the principle of might is right and survival of the fittest. Okay? Plato does not have very strong argument against this, but he rejected Thrasymachus' view by claiming that justice is not about the views, not about the interest of the strong only. Who is strong today might become weak tomorrow. Strong person cannot be always remain strong, and justice is intrinsically valuable and essential for both strong as well as weak. Then the final school, the third school of thought, the pragmatic school, that was propagated by Glaucon. He was just opposite to the radical theory. Radical theory, they believed that justice as the interest of the strong, and Glaucon believed justice as the interest of the weak. Okay? Those who are powerless, they only need state. They only need justice. This view was rejected by Plato. Plato outrightly rejected this. He said that justice cannot be, or it should not be applicable for the weak. It should be applicable for both strong as well as weak. Okay? Then comes Plato's concept of justice. He already rejected the traditional thought or traditional theory, radical theory, and pragmatic theory of justice. And finally, he had given his own concept of justice. He believed that justice belongs to the world of humans. World of humans. Humans. And that is the very foundation of the society. He believes that justice, through justice, harmony can be maintained. Harmony. That basically deals with functional specialization. It is a harmonious structure where each part does its proper role. That means when the tripatriate soul, tripatriate, tripatriate soul, reason, spirit, and appetite. These three classes are performing their duty. There is harmony in the society. Okay. Then comes specialization. Specialization. Right man at the right place. Right man at right place. In society, justice means everyone performs the role they are best suited for. The philosopher king, they will rule. The soldier class or the auxiliary class, they will protect. And the producer class, they will produce. Okay, it's a specialization. Then justice, basically it is inner moral quality. Inner moral quality. Plato believed that justice is the supreme virtue, and justice is a virtue of the individual soul, not just external actions. Individual soul, not just external actions. So that's the concept of justice according to Plato. He believed that the statement state is individual writ large. This statement was from Plato's theory of justice. State is individual writ large. To make Athens an ideal state, the main intention of justice, to make Athens an ideal state. So for that purpose, you need to understand the ultimate principle of justice. What is the ultimate principle of justice? If he wants to make Athens an ideal state, so he was searching for the ultimate idea of justice. Ultimate idea of justice. And what was the ultimate idea of justice? Reason, that is, reason dominates courage and appetite. That means reason, the philosopher king or the philosopher class, they will dominate over the soldier and the producer class. And the principle of justice found at the level of individual can be applied at the level of state. That's why he said that justice is not come out from oak or rock. Oak or rock. It inheres in the minds of the people. Minds of the people. If the people are just, if the people are virtuous, the state will be just and virtuous. So it depends upon the individual. And state is a smaller unity of individuals, and it embodies the collective human behavior. What are the criticisms leveled against Plato's concept of justice? His concept of justice, although Plato had given a very elaborative and harmonious concept of justice, still it has been subject to severe criticism. First criticism, it is based on moral principles, does not have any legal sanctions. It lacks legal sanctions. Legal sanctions. It basically talks about morality, virtue, ethics, morality. There is no legal sanction. His concept of justice was made for the city states only during the 4th and 3rd century BC, and city-states of Athens. That is not applicable in the present scenario. He justified development of the individual partially. Another criticism that can be leveled against Plato's concept of justice. The three classes, the three qualities, the reason, spirit, and appetite. Plato believed the producer class should not have reason and spirit, and there is no scope further they can acquire that. So, according to some of the critics, Plato's concept and Plato's notion of justice justified development of the individual half or partially. Karl Popper, one of the greatest critics of Plato, he criticized Plato as the enemy of open society, and in his book Open Society and Its Enemies. To conclude, despite of all the criticisms leveled against Plato, his concept of justice and the importance cannot be ignored. Although there is a lot of criticism leveled against Plato's concept of justice, but it has its importance. And when we criticize, it lacks legal sanctions. It lacks legal sanction. We have to remember that Platonic justice is not a legal matter, not belongs to the sphere of legality or that of social morality. It is basically believes in inner harmony. Okay? And he considered justice as the root of well-ordered society and harmony between men and men, orderly organization and relationships. This is Plato's concept of justice. Thank you very much.